One of the things we're going to do today is test out my new rudder. Yeah, I know. I don't know if anybody's ever put a rudder on the front of their kayak before, but what tends to happen is when you have all of these rods in the back and the net, when the wind catches it, it's very difficult to get the back to spin into the wind. So if you're trying to turn with that kind of wind, you end up just going straight. It just won't turn. You have to end up like max pedaling to get it to turn. And it can take you, I don't know, 20 yards before you get the kayak to actually turn. So my thought was, instead of getting my paddle out and pushing my front of my kayak around when I'm turning, how about I just put a rudder on the front? So that's what I've done. I have a rudder on the front, and today's we're going to test that to see, does that make a difference? I'm not sure it's actually going to be deep enough. Only about half of that rudder will be in the water. So, well, now I have the anchor on the front, might be more, but I may end up having to add some depth to that, put a hinged bottom on it. We'll see on that. If it, my concern is it's going to be overly sensitive, right? I might just go in circles. So we're going to try that out. Just to show you how it's installed, we have, and let's go over exactly how I built this. So this rudder portion here, I bought this off of Amazon. I'll try to find a link for it, for like 35 bucks, 39 bucks, something like that. It wasn't super expensive, and it was just the rudder part itself. Now it's designed to go on the back, so you can see here that it's the same technology as the spring blade that's on the back. It has a spring-loaded rudder, but the problem is that it was facing the other way, and I needed it to slant back towards the bow for aesthetic purposes and for functionality purposes. So what I ended up having to do is, you can see that there's a 5-hole hole pattern here on this side. I just ram a drill through it and put the same holes on this side so that this knob references those holes, and then you can set the spring, and you can see that obviously the spring works. And then it came with this rope to allow you to bring up the rudder. So at any time when I'm on the water, I can raise the rudder, which is was a concern before I started using it, because I thought, well, if it doesn't work right, or if I spin in circles or something, I'm going to want to be able to raise it. That's not an issue, but whenever I beach, I do raise the rudder so that I don't hit anything. Now, the other concern that I had was the water level is right about here, and I didn't know if that was going to be deep enough to catch enough water to cause it to steer or track properly, but it's been plenty. I thought I might have to add an extension to it, but I haven't needed to do that. It works perfectly fine. Okay, so let's look at some of the other cabling and stuff here. Okay, so it did not come with this section. The rudder itself didn't. These are just stainless steel eye bolts that I purchased, and I put in some handmade thumb screws so I can adjust the tension on it, and also adjust the angle on it so I can make sure it's perfectly in line with the rudder in the back. It's not that. It's honestly, you'd think it'd be super sensitive, but it's really not that sensitive. So I was able to do that quite nicely. That was a simple, easy solution. I'm using the same tubing that was used for the steering columns in the back. It's a vinyl irrigation tubing. You can buy it off of Amazon for a saw, maybe a jig. I raised this particular clip up so that this was more in line, and that's just a piece of plastic. These clips that I have here, I hand fashioned these. They were some U-channel or T-track, for lack of a better word, that I had left over from a project that I did at work, and then I just put a piece of metal in the middle of it, and then that connects into this T-track. I put in this metal plate so that I could easily mount my anchor in the front. And since it was on here, I went ahead and added more T-track to it as well, so I could mount this stuff as well. Now, you can say, well, your handle's all obscured now, but I do take this off. It's pretty simple to take it off. You pull this pin out, and then the whole unit lifts off, and I just store it inside the center of the hull when I'm transporting it. So easy to take on and off. That's not a problem. And you can see here that I have. There we go. You can see here that I have clips and gear track. I have just a bolt in here that holds it into the gear track, into another one of the clips that I fashioned. The two tubes split my live scope and my fish finder, and then they come out and connect in the back to my steering handle. Now, if you watch my video about my steering handle, I put in this little reveal right here purely for aesthetics. I thought it would look better. Well, it turns out it actually has a value, because I just connected the rope to the bolt that holds the shaft on the inside in place, and that rope then travels right in the center of that little reveal that's there. So that's all there is to it. I mean, it was pretty simple. I could have put this into another disc underneath, and someday maybe I will if I get overly bored. And you know me, I probably will get overly bored. But for the time being, it's 100% functional, and makes the deck a little bit more cluttered, but it's fully functional. And until I get to that point where I feel like drilling more holes in my kayak, I'm gonna roll with it the way it is. So fully functional. It steers the back with a steering handle here, and it steers the front as well. Now, I'll put up a graphic on the screen that shows you how the rudders function. They basically do this. It just causes the kayak to turn really, really responsibly. So, all right, let's watch our steering again. I'm gonna aim directly for that corner of that building. Now let's just see how well we track. Well, that's certainly no worse than it was. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Titans, but they don't track particularly well. They tend to wander, which is perfect for bass fishing, because most of the time you're sitting in one place, you're not making long treks. And a lot of the bass fishermen are using motors now, so the motor's going to pretty much keep you on even keel. But as a peddler, they tend to wander a little bit, which is okay. That is not a huge complaint. All right, so now I want to see how fast do I have to go to get this thing to turn. So we're just going to turn it to the right, and I'm going to give it 2 pedals. 1, 2. And you can see that I'm literally turning in a circle. I don't have to move forward. I'm literally turning in a circle with just 2 pedals. That's freaking amazing. That's awesome. I love that. I can go straight, and I can turn with almost no movement whatsoever. Okay, let's turn back the other way. 1, 2, 3 to overcome the inertia from the previous 2 pedals. And you can see, and I'm turning. I'm not having to move forward. Most of those demos that you see of people saying, oh, well, look how well this thing turns. You can see them pedaling like a madman to get the thing to spin. You don't need to do that with the rudder on the front. Now, my biggest concern with this front rudder is I pretty much got to take it off every time I load the truck. Which, you know me, I'm lazy. I don't like doing stuff like that. Do take this off. It's pretty simple to take it off. You pull this pin out, and then the whole unit lifts off, and I just store it inside the the center of the hull when I'm transporting it. So easy to take on and off. That's not a... But for what I'm going to get out of this, I think that is fantastic.
Well, this is one of the things that you can feel really comfortable about, which is maneuvering in between docks. Now notice there's 2 posts in between these 2 docks, and it was pretty tight in there without the 2 posts. But I was able to pedal in here, look around, no beds, no action, turn back around, avoid both posts, and leave with very little difficulty. That was pretty simple. I could have done that with a mild breeze, actually. So really, really cool to be able to do that. In case you were wondering what I was doing with all this extra control, I maneuvered right over the top of this submerged pipe and caught a fish on a drop shot. I could see him swimming around with my live scope, and not a very big fish, but hey, I got him on the line, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
That's a smallmouth. He ain't very big, but it's a smallmouth. I did not get skunked. No. There we go. Well, there you go. I caught him off of the gas line down there. I saw him swimming around and said, that doesn't look like a very big fish, but I'm going to toss it down there and see what we get. Alright. The last time I was trying to do this, which is pedal back into a headwind that is quartering to, I couldn't keep the kayak going straight. It was impossible. I was just doing this all the way up the lake, fighting it, because the waves would push the bow and to the left, and the wind would also catch the rods and my net and everything else, and it would just blow me completely off course. It was a serious pain in the ass. But with the front rudder, I've just been pedaling. It's been going pretty much straight on. It's been nice. I occasionally have to correct a little bit, but by and large, it continues to go straight. So the tracking has been improved exponentially. I would say at least 80%. So pretty thrilled with this thing after an entire day of using it, maneuvering in between docks, navigating through the wind, making minor course corrections. It all makes a big difference. It all helps, and I'm thrilled with it. It's amazing. Pretty happy. In case you couldn't tell. Pretty cool invention. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. If you like this content, please like and subscribe.